Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to your European broadcast of the Smite Wildcards. This is week 2. My name is F. Dot, and I'm joined here by DM Brandon.
This is the last game of the Wildcards period.
Yes.
Aquila will be going up against SK Gaming for contention of top seed of Wildcards, 5th, 6th seed, going into regionals in Cologne, Germany on the 15th of November.
Right, this is all about the regionals. This is
right.
all about the big money. $50,000 will be competed over at ESL Studios in Germany. I believe there's still a couple of tickets left.
$50,000. That's important. That's great, but that's not nearly as important as the 2 seeds that are available to go to Atlanta, Georgia, to play off in the World Championships.
Exactly. It's all part of the path as we see a couple of bands come out. Bands will be rounded out by SK Gaming, the team that just came off of a victory of their last match. So the way it works, people at home, is we do wild cards right here, and this solidifies the top 2 teams that get a chance to compete over that $50,000.
Right.
But what that does is it takes the breadth of 6 teams, the 4 from SPL and the 2 from wild cards right here, and it whittles them down to 2 to earn the right to go to Worlds in Atlanta, Georgia. As you said, at the moment I think it's $1.2 million on the line. So all in all, these teams, these games matter for that huge prize pool.
That's right. Locking it in, Aquila will start off with Thor, taking that away from Zeros. Zeros,
good choice.
That could be a Jungle Vulcan again. Zeros was incredible last game, and despite the fact that Captain Twig put up one of the biggest numbers I've ever seen, Zeros is the one that set that game up front to back, and I would love to see him reprise that role.
Yeah, I mean, I have been against this Jungle Vulcan for just such a long time.
Come on.
But at the end of the day, when something works, and you have to admit it. And my mind goes out to Zeros. 10 points from me, Tom Hattinger, right here, because you're killing it. The Vungle is real, ladies and gentlemen. SK Gaming won a game on the back of it last time, so we're going to see how that works out this time around. Aquila going to go Freya.
That's Chang'e. Oh, the Aphrodite is locked in. That's a Chang'e from SK Gaming, guaranteed. Maniac, actually one of the few players in the world that can play her very well, and that is a pure counter matchup. In fact, is one of the top 3 counters in the game, but that's a Kumbhakarna.
That's going to be a Kumbhakarna.
That does not counter Aphrodite.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting choice. Curious if they would go to the support role right here, because we already know that the Aphrodite is going to go to Confrey, the solo laner. That's one of his best gods. So the Kumba is going to be picked up, and they ban out Giannis. I would have liked to see the Kumba pick up and then a ban of a support. But what do you think they're thinking about right now as we exit the counterban phase?
What is happening?
It's one of those.
What is this? Okay, so they ban Nemesis, they pick up Kali, so Kali goes into the jungle. Vulcan will face off against Aphrodite, which is a pretty clean matchup.
Right.
Not majorly in favor, but Aphrodite has the ability to shut down the damage from Vulcan hard. Body. Left side, Aquila, gonna lock in Ares and...
Ares works.
And Isis...
So Ares, it fits Kanye life. The support player for Aquila, he's an aggressive support player. You see them ban Geb every single time because he's not that type of defensive-minded individual. He just wants to go in. They get the Ymir ban on SK Gaming because they've done their homework, something SK does most of all the time. That's one thing they have on their wayside. So they ban out the Ymir, they allow Kanye life to take out that Ares, and it's going to be able to keep that offensive, in-your-face playstyle that we like to see from Aquila.
So Reels locks into on her. Looks like he's going to be facing off against Ataraxia's Freya. Right side, Sears has Vulcan. They're going to put Kali in the solo. Now, one of the things that makes Kali solo very strong is the fact that her clear isn't that bad.
Right.
But she doesn't have to build Hand of the Gods in the solo lane, meaning late game, beads and sprint are online. So which means for 3 seconds, she is literally invincible. She has her ult up, making sure she doesn't die.
What's it called?
Destruction?
Destruction.
Destruction. She has beads up, meaning she can't be CC'd or slowed or rooted in any way. And then she has ridiculous amounts of damage, possibly healing her with her target proc of Marked for Death. For 3 seconds is literally stronger, probably twice as strong than any other character in the game, but it's only for that 3 seconds.
Only for that 3
seconds.
seconds.
3-second window of nonsense.
And we're gonna take a look at Brandon's pet project Kali over here, and also look at the rest of the map, including Ataraxia playing that Freya, who you have 3 seconds of invincibility on Maniac's Kali, and you've got 5 seconds of incredible hyper carry on that Freya later on in the game. One thing I want to bring attention to before we even start, we're gonna see the Cursed Blade start on Ataraxia. This is gonna be built built into a very interesting build. Don't be surprised when third or fourth item you see a Pythagorean's piece.
That's right. Ataraxia has a completely different build on Freya than any other Freya player in the entire world. Now, the wards have come out there. We have seen defensive wards. We see aggressive wards. And despite the fact that this blue buff is super deep right now on the right side, this is actually a very defensive ward. It will tell them the path they take if they do the speed buff, if they decided not to. Right now, they know Kali's missing, so that's why they're hanging back so far.
Yeah, I mean, they know that Kali is going to be playing the solo lane, so Kali's actually inching forward into these mid-camps.
They know she's there. They're gonna reset this if given the shot here. Actually, who is that gonna? I think they got it. Yeah, they got both.
Goes to Aquila, yep.
Yeah, they got both. Kali wasting some time there on the top side. A little bit of mana as well, but Zero still cleaning that one up and giving the experience to Maniac. I like the aggression there because he didn't lose too much for it.
Exactly. It's worth a shot. Didn't come up clean, and it's all good. It's not as if it was a Bastet steal on the other side where you lose so much time. Zero's, because of the turret, was able to tank that by himself, not incur a lot of damage, and they'll actually get to the solo lane just in time. No big deal.
Durgius, Kanye, like, throwing a lot of damage Badger's way on the left side, Ataraxia as well. What I want to talk about is the way that SK Gaming just did the blue buff on the right side with Zeros and Maniac. I could talk about their positioning there for hours. The fact that the turret started it and then Zeros knew he would gain the aggro right after that by putting himself all the way across.
Left lane, Badger's taking a lot of damage, already forced into his passive right there, sleeping on the ground. A couple of basics.
Reels is in a lot of trouble.
Just trying to protect his teammate Badger right there. Great protection, but now they're both very low. The rotation from Pretty Prime, looking for the Spirit Ball, doesn't quite nail it, and that's going to leave Reels and Badger safe and sound.
Ataraxia needed a little bit more experience to get that banish off. They could have banished into the Spirit Ball, but too little, too late. Remember, Badger Sleepy is on cooldown, has only about 40% of his health left.
5 minutes is that Badger cooldown. So anytime in the next 5 minutes, they can just kill Kumbhakarna, which is one of his strengths. Early in the game, you want to target the support over the hunter just because he's easier to kill, usually has less mobility, and he's a great target. Kumbhakarna's passive is so powerful because it deters that. Now there's no deterrence, Brandon, and you're going to see Aquila actively look for Badger.
Maniac could be in some trouble here. He did manage to pull the creeps and took a lot of damage for it. His clear isn't nearly as good as you can see him trying to fight back. He's going to lose gold, and he's going to lose experience. I like the Kali pick. I think it's smart, but he needs better control, and there's no way for him to fight Aphrodite.
Right, he definitely needs to, he needs to play the character and not the matchup that he wants to. He sees Kali and he wants to shred Aphrodite. It's just not going to be able to happen with that healing coming out from her. So it's going to be very, very careful as to how he plays that. Badger getting ready to rotate, going to stay for probably one more wave. And again, Sleepy is on cooldown, so you got to take a look.
So, left side, Ataraxia, just barely missing the banish there. Oh, Vulcan coming through. Oh, I thought that looked good to me.
Wrong team, unfortunately, hits Badger, but that's the same jersey. Down comes Repicos from the air. Good old stun coming out from the wall. Zero's trying to get away.
Oh,
Not exactly Vulcan's forte, and he's going to be first blood going the way of the jungler for Aquila.
You know, even the pro teams, the teams that took first and second coming out of the SPL said there's a real good chance that Aquila could wind up in Worlds. First blood showing off right there. Now, they're about 800 experience ahead, but only about 200 gold. SK's farm was a little bit better in the beginning, which is strange to me considering that Maniac doesn't quite have the matchup that he would want. Left side camps looks like are going to be going the way of Aquila. Right side going to be going to SK.
Beautiful split going on in the mid camps. That is the first respawn, so no real change right there. Leads not really worth mentioning at all. It's all about what we're going to see in the next couple of minutes. I want to see what happens 6 minutes, and if there's a fight beforehand, SK is going to want to get a little aggressive here, but avoid the jungle aggression. They want the dual lane aggression, or they want the solo lane aggression, because that's where they can really leverage their position right here as far as their matchups are concerned.
So, Kali in the solo lane on Maniac. Maniac is probably thinking to himself, I do this in Joust a lot. I can beat Aphrodite every single time. Something he's probably not considering is the fact that he's getting 8 gold a second in Joust. He's getting 2 gold a second here. He's not healing as much. He's taking a ton of damage. He's getting gold stripped away from him in every facet. And if he goes anywhere near those back creeps, he's going to pay. Right there, does manage to get 2 in gold, but he's getting sent back early and only with about 1,400 gold in hand. he's going for boots.
Yeah, he's definitely going to pick up those boots, allow him to move a little bit faster, get out of doves most likely, which is going to be the main source of damage coming out of Aphrodite, as long as Kali respects that positionment and doesn't come in back-off range, which is really not where she wants to be. So it's just going to be a farm lane right here. Do you think Maniac will get a little bit more aggressive, or is he going to respect the matchup?
Not sure. Honestly, he has to try to do something, but even with help from Zeros, I just don't see him having the same kind of control that Aphrodite, and he has to be careful of Thor, who, of course, just made a big play over on the left side. Reel's getting pulled back as well. Clean double coming right through, no trouble. Both kills going to Isis.
There's that Pretty Prime coming out on the Isis. This is, again, a very high-priority character for this player. We see Isis and Ra, Isis and Aphrodite, and just a lot of combinations of these two or three characters for Aquila.
You know what I really love is Isis is one of the weakest characters to me because how much CC she has DRs the rest of the team.
Okay.
But what happens when you have Ares, a character who's not worried about diminishing returns because he's not landing that ultimate anyway? He's all about cripples. That doesn't DR the same way that we're going to see the silence and the stun. These two work perfectly together, and if he can force the beads with a great silent spirit ball into damage, it guarantees the Ares ult. There's so much potential for control, but Pretty Prime is probably dead.
He's taking a lot of damage from Twig, and here comes Zeros. Great backfire, gonna miss, but it'll put him in a good position. Ultimate coming out from Vulcan, doesn't even need it. Claims the life of the mid laner, but Pretty Prime is a person also that uses the Isis ultimate.
Right.
A lot of players will get a quick tap. Just get the burst damage coming out from the ultimate, which is the opposite of what you want to do.
Right, it's damage reduction.
Exactly. You see Aquila stack that. Sometimes they come out with shells. They'll use it on objectives. Pretty Prime plays this character in and out perfectly.
Ataraxia is in trouble here. Reel's got a few big shots off. There's another one not going to quite be able to finish it off. No ultimate. Actually just came off cooldown. Had he had it a few seconds sooner, he could have at least forced Ad up into the air. Right side could be in some trouble here. Comfrey not going to get to back just yet as Maniac once again heads back to the base. The issue is Maniac backed about 120 gold too soon. Didn't quite finish the boots. That's just a back. That hurts.
Yeah, he was just a little bit of afraid, kind of worrying about how that lane was going to work out. Over here in the left-hand lane, we'll just have people go back and sort of assume the duo lane life, Kanye life and Ataraxia right here. That's why Ataraxia can stay in lane, because Ares is going to stay and sort of protect him.
Speaking of protection, I haven't really seen Thor in the right lane at all.
Nope.
Maniac has just been kind of getting pushed out. He's backing again this time. Will bear fruit as he will get those boots finished, giving him some penetration. And remember, Kali's passive also giving penetration. In fact, at this point, it's giving an extra 19 to whomever her target might be, but we don't have that information.
Yeah, no information on who the target is. It is RNG to a certain point when it starts out, and we take a look at Kali's slash line. No kills, no deaths. So the way Kali's target works is when she gets killed, her target will change to that. So on Kali's first death, we'll be able to look at that, and then from playstyle, we can infer, sort of draw an inference who she's hard targeting, whether her target is. Left-hand lane, though, Ares getting aggressed on, Reel's getting chained.
Reels could be in a big amount of trouble here. Can Thor reach it? Not quite. Does he find the stun? Nice ultimate coming out, forcing him away. Ataraxia still gets picked off, and then watch the rotation coming in from the backside. Pretty Prime getting low, but he's getting healed up. Zeros gets picked off. Great play coming out from Comfrey.
Yeah, Pretty Prime and Confrey. That's that Mage Rage, and Badger's still in a lot of trouble. Long range Spirit Ball down in the sleepy. Can Captain Twig and Maniac really do their job and get people off of Badger? Confrey very low, and it looks like they're going to be successful. Badger's going to pick back up while Captain Twig picks up the solo laner. Confrey falls onto the left-hand tower. Beautiful play by SK's Ra.
Not only did I not think that Twig was going to hit that, but I didn't think that even if he did, he would get the kill.
It's Captain Twig right there.
I did not think he had enough damage at this stage in the game. Right now, beautiful rotation. SK probably going to take the lead back here as the first Gold Fury of the game going to be picked off. Kanye trying to dive in deep, but a little bit too late. Gets some chains off, looking at Badger who gets low. Double stun coming out. Ataraxia gets in there looking for the opportunity to get to the back line. Maniac, not enough mana to get into the ultimate. One shot missed, two shot missed. Maniac will survive.
That's that change on Freya right there. It's no longer a huge circle, just enough. Meanwhile, on the back line, Reels will fall down to Freya as she rotates. Captain Twig picks up a double. Two members of the blue team go go down to the wayside. Repicos running for his life while 3 members of SK give chase. That Magma Bomb's going to miss and might have sealed the deal onto Repicos, but he just takes a little bit of poke, and he is clean and clear. SK get kills. SK get Gold Fury. SK might get the tower.
I love the play coming out because Ataraxia is just straight up boxing Reels.
Right.
He starts to lose. Reels is going to get the kill. Kanye jumps in, gets the chain, starts the body block. He gets low, gives it back. Ataraxia takes 2, jumps back in the body block. They clean it up. And then Twig's like, hey, bro, body block this. Beam right through both of them. Picks up the double.
Yeah, mages cannot be blocked. Spells go through all.
How many times in your Smite career have you tried to body block Desert Fury? I still do it.
I still do it.
Like, oh, damn it, this is 300 damage for no reason.
You heard it here first, players. Caster and an ex-pro like DM Brandon all make mistakes sometimes.
I think I did it yesterday. Yeah, production come in and said he does it too. It just looks like it's not going to go through yet.
Right, it's a basic attack, just a flurry of them. Right-hand lane, we're going to see Kali head back onto base. Actually going to be stopped as a good block, as a good hit from Confrey is going to keep him in lane. So much damage coming out from this Aphrodite.
Oh, Reels. So much trouble. Banished right into the chains. Up into the air he goes. Ataraxia picks up the kill. Beautiful play coming out from the combo of At and Kanye. They'll be able to clear up the wave safely as well. Right side getting chased down. Confrey might not be in a good spot, but Maniac once again forced back. And again, not enough gold to really make a difference in the build. Balance Blade online, but he's still about 1,500 gold away from Kali being viable.
I like the thought process there. Kali stayed intent. It looked like, after you saw what happened, it looked like it was intentional, but in the middle lane, this is not intentional. Captain Twig taking a bunch of damage from Pretty Prime. Kind of Life here as well. No escape. Pretty Prime gets the kill on a Captain Twig. That's going to be the 4th kill for Aquila's middle laner. That is a great lead. 4-1-1 reads the Isis slash line.
High Badger right there, actually forced to escape, has taken a lot of damage. I'm not sure if that Sleepy is back just yet. Let's check that out. Sleepy actually coming up in 6 seconds.
Yep, so just about now, it's been about 5 minutes since the last engagement. Over there in the left-hand lane, it's a 5-minute cooldown on that passive, so good attention to detail from Badger. You see him get more aggressive when Sleepy comes back online. So it's such a pro move, knowing when that cooldown is up and being aware of it and playing to it.
Oh, Reels once again getting caught by those chains. He's stunned, forced to beats. Are they going to go for this? He does not have his ultimate available. He does now, just came off a cooldown. Zeros rotates over, and I love the positioning. That is a Deterral Phoenix, making sure that they cannot get in there deep.
Yeah, I love it. I'm starting to really see the merits of this jungle Vulcan. I like it, and I love the creativity coming out from both of these teams. We talked about Zero's Vulcan. Take a look in a little bit when we see Freya go back to base and what she buys, and just think about. We'll talk a little bit about it and why it works out. So just incredible creativity coming out from these teams and good play. We've got a tight match, 12.5 minutes in, and Repicos going to get looked at.
Maniac is actually taking a lot of damage as well on the right side. Repicos just barely getting away there. Badger will be. Did Badger just miss Froggy Strike?
Just a couple of miscommunications.
Oh, he didn't miss it. It got stunned.
From SK Gaming. Repicos going to go in the air and look for the re-engage. Lands on Zero's ultimate. Comes out from Isis. Couple more hits, and he might go. There it is. He'll go down in sync with the Hunter duel in the left-hand lane. Reels is starting to rotate. Mid lane still goes on. Captain Twig not going to get stunned, but is walled out. That's going to be curtains for the Ra. It's just a matter of when can Confrey get the kill.
You know, Maniac was once again forced back. He's trying to get there. Captain Twig gets picked off because the whole team wasn't available. That was a 4v3, turned into a 4v4, but too little, too late. Maniac doesn't have the damage online yet. The farm just hasn't been good. He's 700 gold behind his opponent. And given the fact that he's 0-0-1, whereas Aphrodite has a death, this should have been a bigger situation, but it's not. Still about 700 gold away before the time bomb starts to blow up. But until then, he's just got to protect this tower.
Still a tie game for all intents and purposes, though, Brandon.
Oh, tower's going away. He actually valued the respawn. Yeah, it looks like he's just like, I can't defend this anymore, guys. I'm sorry.
He's just going to go ahead and give it up. That's going to be a little bit of map presence for Aquila. That said, your first solo lane tower you sort of expect to go down. It's really not that big of a deal. Left-hand side, much bigger of a deal, though.
And
Aquila
something they probably don't expect.
Quietly getting a Gold Fury. No vision.
Shh, everybody, Gold Fury.
No vision right here.
1,500 gold. For
1,500 goes to Aquila, and that's going to be a very big 1,500 gold.
Yeah.
Considering the lead is 1,900 gold. It
That's
was
right.
a tie game here at 14 minutes in. 9-6 read the kills. 1,900 gold going the way of Aquila with the first lead of this game.
Maniac could have used that. He would have been
Yep.
50 gold away from getting this sip. Now he's freezing the lane, forcing Aphrodite into a bad spot, but he just missed the last hit. He needs to get these things online, man.
Oh, yeah.
Those chin size have got to get started.
It's the whole character right there. She attacks 50% more than anyone else, and right now, good Vulcan ult going to not hit anyone. Replica's back in the air looking for a kill. Captain Twig not going to fall. That heal is just so intense. Captain Twig and Zero is very, very low. Replica's kills the enemy jungler. Confrey gets the stun, gets the hit. He's going to claim the life of Captain Twig. Maniac, on the other hand, finally gets a kill. Ataraxia wins the Hunter duel. Two people pulled by that Ares, looking for a lot. Very, very low is everyone. One tank falls, one solo laner falls. Badger looking at the tail end of his life. That Sleepy is going to be the first one that won't get through. Kill credit goes to Confrey. Fantastic fight all around coming out from Aquila. 2 deaths on their side. Deicide on the way of SK Gaming, and 3 members of Aquila will push forward in this middle lane.
No problem whatsoever. They ran out of creeps there. They're coming back. Confrey, huge play right there, keeping Pretty Prime alive through everything. And you take a look at the damage right now, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, you take a look at the board, player damage, Captain Twig way on top. But what happens after Captain Twig? No one is even close. It's just 5 blue lines getting spread throughout. Badger has no damage on the board. Badger has the 1,900 damage. That is like actually one. That was just the snipe that Captain Twig did in the mid game.
Yeah, I mean, Badger's made a couple of intense misplays. We saw a knockup take somebody completely out of the Vulcan ultimate, which is a big deal. Those small micro, that's what happens with Vulcan. You got to be aware of that. And unfortunately, not really coming through in the clutch. We're going to see, taking a look at the build, though, for Ataraxia. There's that Pythagoras piece. So much lifesteal going to come out of that item.
Now, she already gets 15% lifesteal flat, so that actually increases her a huge amount by another 25%.
Huge.
And technically, that is a single target spell, so that is flat lifesteal. She'll never die.
Exactly. As the game approaches the mid game, you'll see each pulse irradiate combo will heal her for about 400.
All right, so going in, Maniac trying to dive deep, recognizes the trouble here. He has the chin size online, and right there, Comfrey using that against him, saying, I can just stay like one step out of melee range, and I can make sure he keeps diving me. Right there, Maniac took 75% of his health and is now once again going back. He can't afford it.
He's forced back so many times. Confrey just playing the smart role right here. Ataraxia,
that's an ultimate.
Captain Twig right in the middle. Lots of stuff going on right here. Zero's going to ult just in case. Gets pulled, but also gets the ult. He'll go down to the hand of the Thor. Badger trying to get out, using his ultimate defensively. No hit whatsoever. He goes down without the passive. 5 members of Blue Aquila right here in the middle lane. There is only a Maniac, and he's at the base. He does not have a hog. This is a fire giant going the way of Team Aquila.
There's nothing Maniac can do here. No Hand of the Gods, no ultimate. That is just realistically the only thing he can do is run in and maybe look for a kill. He's not even going to get there in time. This is not working out. You cannot pick Kali into Aphrodite in the solo lane. This is not something that works.
Maniac is going to get the kill onto Pretty Prime despite the fire giant going his way. Taking a look, that's the chin size. Maniac falls to the wayside as 4 members collapse on him. Kanye Life actually getting credit for that one. He's 3-2 and 12. That's a nice slash line going the way of the support. We're going to see a group backing coming out from Aquila. Pings going out onto the Gold Fury. We're going to take a look at what they bought. Witchblade has been finished for Ataraxia alongside the Fatalis and the Pythagoras piece. That is really the core of this strange build. As we go on, just look for more magical power. Very different from the Demo Grip start. It's more of just a holistic mage build.
That's right. I mean, the amount of damage he can put out with just this. I mean, people don't really understand how much. He's getting 90 damage from Pyth. On top of the fact that he's getting 25 lifesteal, he's getting extra mana. I mean, there's a lot to this item.
Oh, yeah.
And given the fact that he's getting a ton of movement speed between Haste and Vitalis and Witchblade, he doesn't need boots. It's not a necessary item.
He just runs around. The thing he's missing is penetration, though, Brandon.
That's right. Well, Demonic Grip can come online next. Demo is going to give him a ton of pen, more attack speed to couple with the fact that he has already built a ridiculous amount. How do you kill that?
You really just can't box it, which is sort of what Freya does already.
Right.
Don't box me, bro. And now you take it a step further. You definitely can't box because now she's got the healing just like a traditional hunter, and you can't stop this siege right here. 4 members of Aquila have the Fire Giant, and even Pretty Prime, who doesn't, he's coming up, and he's in the middle lane trying to fend off this Kali from taking middle tower, but all Aquila needs in this left-hand lane is the 4 of them, and they're doing it completely well.
Oh, Maniac, just one hit away, dives in! The double kill right there. Double KO. The base race is on. It looks like Aquila's going to wind up doing it. The tower in the bottom goes out, but they're trading for the Phoenix. If they go for the Phoenix here on the bottom, they could just end.
Yeah. You got 4 members for Aquila with that Fire
no.
Giant. They're going to play defense. They're not going to go the aggressive stance, as we have a great play coming out from SK Gaming. This is a power play. This is a veteran play. I love what I'm seeing. Good CC reduction coming out from the members in red. Badger's already out. Real's a little bit too close. Tries to use that pillar for the self-peel. Great job being immune by Aphrodite to protect the slow. Confrey gets the kill onto Real's X. They're going to chase Badger up this lane. Meanwhile, the rest of the team does
Twig.
Gold Fury.
Twig, I thought he recognized it. You got to know that they're missing right. He's attacking right in front of it. Oh, that's so heartbreaking. Badger, Sleepy, once again going to get picked off there. Going to give that one to Confrey. Another kill on the board. The ever slept on Aphrodite with a beautiful build. You know, I don't normally love the Rod of Asclepius, but we talked about before how much control SK Gaming has. There's a stun on Maniac. There's a stun on Zeros. There's multiple forms of CC on Badger. There's a stun, slow, and knockback on Reels. And then Captain Twig has enough healing. Giving her not only extra healing, but movement speed to get out of these situations is a huge, huge advantage. And given the fact that they don't really want to build 2 Witchblades, giving that extra movement speed in the form of Rod of Asclepius, that extra aura as well, not only will help her, but it also increases the healing of Freya.
Not just Freya, Pythagoras is an aura ability.
That's
20
true.
magical power and 10% magical lifesteal to all allies in the area. Take a look at the comp. It's 4 mages, only Thor on the physical side. This is completely thought out from the beginning. Freya's build was thought to keep in mind with Ares' build and Aphrodite's build and the picks as well. Right now, Freya in a little bit of trouble, though.
More than a little bit.
Up in the air, surrounded by 3, nowhere to go, and Ataraxia's going to fall.
You know, that's not the worst time for someone to fall to the wayside, given the fact that they just barely lost their Fire Giant buff now. Actually, no, it's still online. So her timer is at 40 seconds. They just lost it there. It's only going to take her 20-something seconds to get back. She'll be in contention for Fire Giant. So not the worst play, but still going to hurt her.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely never want to die.
No, right. But weighing the options?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's fine.
If you're going to die, you should die right around here while you're waiting for the objectives to really spawn up. You're part of the fights, because these fights, as we approach 22 minutes, these fights are really the ones that determine the game.
Right, exactly. Now, something I always hear this in ranked, always hear this in games where someone locks in a 4th magical and everyone starts yelling. 4 magic is okay. 4 physical is bad. And I know I talked about this before. We're going to mention it again for the people who might not have joined us earlier on. When you build physical defense, you're building against players, minions, Fire Giant, Gold Fury, Towers, Phoenixes, Titans.
Very, very true. And speaking of Towers, Phoenixes, and Titans, SK just quietly raging down the left-hand side. 1 tower, down. Tier 2 tower, down, aggressing on the Phoenix. Repicos picks up the assassin in the backline. Real's very low as well. This is the defensive play of Aquila. Captain Twig falls. That's a double kill for the Thor. Chasing down the lane is Zeros. Meanwhile, into the jungle goes Kanye and Ataraxia. They're going to go to the right side to chase Badger. Thor will continue aggressive to the left side to chase Zeros. Everyone is in trouble. Great siege coming the way of SK Gaming, but as soon as Aquila woke up and took the fight, everyone died.
Repicot still actually chasing Zeros. Mjolnir's attunement hits on the backside, not the forward. He needs to be able to stun and get in there for the Berserker Barrage. He's got him. That's going to be a 4-person swing. Only Badger alive, but smartly, they don't even look to the Fire Giant. Now remember, guys, the earlier siege was still a win for Aquila because they took the side that's farthest away from Fire Giant, forcing a longer rotation to contend both objectives. On the right side, they can still contend into this Phoenix, but they need to go back now.
Yeah, they need to start playing defense as far as SK Gaming. Maniac just completely annihilated, forced into destruction in 1 second worth of engagement time. Confrey's gonna get the kill on that with the birds. Stun onto Badger, but
Phoenix
Dion's
is dead.
gonna caught it. Down goes Badger to Pretty Prime. Captain Twig picks up a double un to 2 of them. Ataraxia falls to the wayside. That's gonna be a big hit. Those Freya hits are very important to taking down these structures. Left-hand Phoenix respawns. It's half HP, Brandon, but what can they do?
Twig's in so much trouble here. Blown up by the ultimate circle of absolute destruction. No problem. Second Phoenix is going to go down. Should be noted there. Their Titan is taking damage. If I was SK Gaming, I would be stopping the back right now. Stop them from getting in there. Don't let them return to the base. Recognize that your minions are doing the damage they're doing. They're giving away the win, F-Dot.
75% HP, even less. We're approaching 50% HP for these minions. If SK Gaming had stopped them, as it determines winions.
Look at this. There's another 6 minions coming into that base. That would have been a guaranteed win, but they didn't notice. They didn't notice at all. Badger, Reels, Zeros right there could have won the game for their team. If they go back and watch this broadcast, guys, you gotta watch your mini-map.
Map awareness, definitely one of the keys of the game right here. 25 minutes in, folks. 30 kills on the side of Aquila. 13 going the way of SK Gaming. Graph looking very, very interesting as well. 8,700 gold to 16,000 experience as we see the final push onto the Fire Giant. This will be a very big fight. SK Gaming wants to win. They need to win. And Badger just nowhere to be seen. Nowhere
to be found whatsoever. He did a throwback onto some fire minions. I'm sure that'll help when the Fire Giant has been taken, although they're still not fully aggressing onto it. Maniac forced into destruction. He's out of here. Badger, wrong side of the map. Zeros forced to escape. Captain Twig and Reels, wrong side of the map. Fire Giant gets taken, and Maniac has no ultimate.
No contestation at all coming out from SK Gaming. Aquila with the Fire Giant belt around their waists, looking for a good fight. Very, very, very contested. In the middle is both teams. Badger getting stunned out. Captain Twig very low. Maniac disappears thanks to the jungler, while Ataraxia takes out Captain Twig. Badger very low. Ataraxia's got 2. Looking for more. Reels dies, and 4 members of Aquila in the middle lane. Only 1 member left for SK Gaming. Zeros is here. What can he do? What can he do?
Oh, man, there's nothing Zeros can try to do. That turret doesn't have damn well near enough damage to keep this out. Look at your first seed for Wildcards, your 5th seed for LAN, coming out of the Challenger Cup and defeating all challengers in front of them. Cognitive Aquila, formerly Agilitas, with what is this? 8 of 9 weeks straight through their competition.
Aquila has just been a powerhouse in the Challengers Cup, and that's not because of lack of competition in the Challenger Cup. You saw them each week just grow and grow, both as a team, as individuals, and just as players overall. Coming into the Wildcards, they showed no sense of slowing down, just hit the pedal just a little bit harder. And let's take a look at the numbers, folks. Looking on alongside the victorious winning screen, 10, 2, and 9 for Repicas, 7, 1, and 11 for Confrey, and finishing up the Mage Rage, 8, 3, and 15 for Pretty Prime's Isis.
Now, keep in mind, guys, this isn't the end of the world for SK. Right. They lose first seed contention. They'll be going into Cologne, Germany's, what are we calling this? The North American trip to the world? Or the European trip to the world?
It's the regional playoff lands.
Regional playoff lands. There's only 2 spots.
Right.
Either way, you're facing Cloud9 or TSM. It's kind of like pick your poison. And for everyone at home, there are no teams at Worlds, at this LAN that are going to be like, this team is going to win it. I would say that Exposed Secrets kind of have an edge right now, but Team Solo Mid has won a LAN. We have seen Exposed Secrets win LANs.
SK.
We have seen SK win LANs. We have seen Agilitas come back from a huge deficit. Every single team going to this tournament could wind up in Atlanta. Any single one of them.
Very, very true. And if Aquila goes, we're going to take a look at it. A replay coming out from Repicas, one of the more leaned-on members of Aquila. Taking a look at this play right here, just lands. This is the Phoenix defense, and immediately everyone's just taking damage, Brandon. Such great setup and awareness coming out from the team, Repicas specifically, to really know who to target.
That's right. And he was just beautiful throughout. He chased zeros all the way to the edge of that and still got that kill.
Yeah,
now,
he chased him from the bottom Phoenix to the top of the crook.
Yeah.
Right there going on to the left side where the tower
I think
used to be.
I think back to the Dota's International 2013.
Okay.
That was that win right there. SK should have had that.
Oh, yeah.
All they had to do was run up and stop the back. That's exactly what happened at the Game 5 of the final game of Dota. It was incredible. And right there, had they had the awareness to recognize what their minions were doing, they won that game.
So Aquila just comes out in spades, wins this game as well as most of their other games. They're going to be your #1 seed overall coming out of the wild cards, where SK Gaming will earn the 2nd seed. Fantastic play coming out from all the teams today. It's
incredible.
Been an arduous 2 weeks right here. A lot of contention. Coast going through some tumultuous times. Five Finger Men going through some tumultuous times as well. Fantastic storylines all around, but that is the end. Coming up next will be the regionals. The 22nd of November will be North American regionals. Tickets still available right here for Atlanta, and over on the European side of things, they will be about a week or two earlier in in Cologne, Germany.
15th
at ESL Studios, November 15th for the European. Go ahead at esports.smitegame.com to find your tickets today, and we'll see you there. For Brandon, myself, and everybody here at Productions at hi-rez Studios, thanks for watching Wildcards. We'll see you at regionals.